birthday, dear Major League Soccer. Happy birthday to you. Oh, 25.
Never looked so good.
Years old. Wait, oh my gosh, I got the trick candles.
Oh.
It's coming back. It's coming back. Is it? Yep, look.
And we're the only ones eating them, so it's quarantine safe that we're blowing on them. If you were sharing, then you would not be doing so. But you know what? Who the heck could have predicted that this was going to be how we were ringing in the big 2-5? But here we are, and we are making the best of it.
It's really crazy. So this week we are celebrating the official 25th anniversary, birthday, what have you, of Major League Soccer. On this day, back in 1996, the San Jose Clash took on DC United in the first ever MLS match in history. And it's a big day. It's a big time to celebrate. And like you said, we never anticipated that this is the way that we would be celebrating it. I had every intention of being in San Jose for that game to honor it. But here we are.
But you picked a close second. Here you are. You're in your apartment.
In quarantine,
I'm in mine.
with my trick candle still intact. And it's just, you know what? We're gonna make the most of it, and we're gonna celebrate in true quarantine style. What? Oh, I love that. That is adorable.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, MLS. Oh, it's so good.
We love you so much, MLS.
Thank you. We do. You've just, 25 never looked so darn good. I wish that we were all not in this situation right now, but hopefully soccer will be back sooner rather than later, and we can properly celebrate. But we're gonna make the most of it right now. Jill, first and foremost, just want to know, you look great. You look absolutely great. You sound great. You said you're feeling great, but you're in the clear, correct?
Yeah. Well, one thing that's helping me look good is I'm officially one of those people that has a ginormous selfie ring in my house. So, lighting is a beautiful thing.
Isn't it?
But
I
yes.
mean, I would have bought one too, but
Yeah.
I have the vanity, so we're fine.
Right. You've got the good lighting. MLS really is a family. We say it all the time, Donnie G, the commish, Don Garber, our commissioner, he'll say it, that this is a family. Players will say it. But it's really true, because by the time I let people like the internet world know that I had it, I had been in it for a number of weeks. So like for me, it's been going on for weeks, but I'm finally even like past the point of needing to worry about being contagious. I went and took a walk on the street yesterday for the first time in what had been many, many weeks. So that felt good. But I just want to give a big amount of love to MLS staff, team staff, players, fans, that have all just been like checking in on me periodically. I'll get a text or a DM or something just being like, are you okay? And it from anyone, from, like I said, from players to fans. And I'm very, very fortunate. I'm well and my family's well. And for that, I feel very lucky. And I'm good. And we here on the Call Up are to bring you a little bit of fun, because I know so much of what is going on for most people is not fun. So that's what we're here to do today. But thanks for checking in. I'm good.
I am here for Jill being back to 100%. That is wonderful, wonderful news. We have
first glass of wine I've saved this.
Girl,
I think it's been almost a month.
Oh, cheers.
A little glass, breaking myself in slowly.
Cheers to you.
I don't want to go too crazy, but sometimes you just need a little something.
I will drink to that. We've got a great show today. I'm really excited. We have Brad Guzan from Atlanta United coming on the show. This is a guy we have tried to get on the show several times, and schedule-wise, it just has never worked out. So now he's in quarantine, and he has no excuse.
He had no excuse. Yeah.
So
we're like, let's get Brad when he's trapped.
But let's should we get into our here for thises?
Yes, please. Oh, wait, first, before we get to here for this.
Oh, I know what you're going to talk about.
So, for those of you, I'm going to call it up. So, for those of you that follow the Call Up on Twitter, which all of you should, by the way, because anything that may be isn't appropriate for the show or we think of after the fact, we also post on our Twitter account. These 3 photos, for those of you that are listening, were unveiled to the universe last week as our TBTs. Carlos Vela's GQ Mexico shoot, where he is so beautifully laying on a soccer ball, looking just fantastic, great hair. And then Susanna and I had the kind of epiphany while speaking about it, that we felt that we had very similar photos. Susanna laying on a basketball and myself kind of caressing a soccer ball in goal.
Correct.
So I'm very proud to say that we put out a poll that said,
"Oh God,
who's the natural?" And here's the real win here, Suze. Carlos Vela lost. Our listeners put Carlos Vela. He got 19% of the votes, and then and I, man, were even Steven. Even Steven. But like 40.5, 40.5 ish.
Wow! Look at that.
Look at that. It just means our listeners love us so much and that they're really good friends. So
that feels
the final
like,
results,
like
Suze and I pretty much tied. And yeah, big news there. But the big news is Carlos lost. Because we don't win anything. Carlos wins enough, so we don't feel bad for him.
We did it better than Vela. What can we say? Oh my God, I forgot about that. But that's
fantastic.
Sorry. No, that's
okay.
good.
Here for that.
Good. I feel like that's a real win. A real win for us
Confidence
today.
Boost.
Okay, so we're going to do Here for This now. And I just want to preface this Here for This by saying we all need a lot of positivity right now. So we picked some things that, you know what, we're just going to put it out there. We are here for all day. So these are all things that we just really sort of enjoyed over the past week, or things that we've seen. And we're starting with MLS in 96. Okay, so as we mentioned, this is the 25th anniversary.
We're in our 90s garb.
Yes. You guys, okay, just so you see. Tupac! What's up? I had
Such a good get. Suze has a Tupac shirt on. Got a nice little jean jacket and a scrunchie. Just trying to live in the 90s, you know.
I got the scrunchie too. Exactly. So that's our tribute to 96. But MLS has started this new Instagram account called @MLS. 96.
It's hilarious.
MLS in 96, and it is fantastic. They have followed all the accounts that they're following are people that they would have followed in 96. So like the entire cast of Friends, Boy Meets World, Beverly Hills 90210. It's hysterical. And then they've got some amazing photos on there. Alexi Lawless makes a tremendous appearance with the beard and the hair and all of that. So if you guys have not checked it out yet, go to Instagram, check out @MLS in 96. We are here for it all day. All day. Am I right?
All day, sister, because it's a feel good. Another thing we're here for is we've talked a lot in quarantine about just nice guys, and we are definitely here for nice guy. And you know what? We love goalkeepers. And goalkeeper for Minnesota United, Tyler Miller. Not only is he one of the nicest guys in the league, but he also seemed to create and edit his entirely own Rambo reenactment. Is that what we would call it?
Incredible. So he posted this on his Instagram.
Go to his Instagram.
And it is an entire like little mini saga of him as Rambo. He's got a full on camo gear on. I think it's a camouflage sweatsuit that he's wearing.
We have to ask him about this.
He's got a Nerf gun, and he's in his kitchen, and he like pops up, and then he shoots water bottles. And he's rolling on the floor like doing the army rolls. And number one, the time it took to curate this and then edit it. Like, I applaud you, but also, y'all, these guys are bored. If Tyler Miller had all this time.
Tyler Miller, how bored are you?
I mean, but I laughed so hard. I think I texted it to you immediately, Jill. I was like, this is wild. But I love it. I'm so here for these guys getting creative and having fun with it and just putting out something a little bit lighthearted that everybody can enjoy. Who doesn't love Tyler Miller as Rambo, you know? It's great.
No, nobody. So big thank you to Tyler Miller. And also our third and final here for this, a big thank you to Robert Kraft, owner of the New England Revolution and the New England Patriots. He used the Patriots plane to fly to China, pick up 1.2 million masks, and fly them back.
Yep.
So it's
Which
like
is
we
incredible.
talked about Arthur Blank last week. The ownership and seeing kind of people with things like private jets and NFL jets using them to do an emergency trip to China. Huge, incredible. He didn't need to do that, and I know it took a lot of work. And just big hats off to the Kraft family for doing that. But speaking of Revs, it goes deeper than just millionaire owner Robert Kraft. Also, Revs own Andrew Farrell doing something super awesome. He had a video game tournament with other MLS players. He raised $3,000. So it's like, listen, I know a lot of you are sitting at home playing FIFA, and there's nothing wrong with that. But to make it a charity, like, brings a tear to my eye, Andrew Farrell.
No, it's really, really cool. And I love that these guys are feeling motivated to do that and get back. In fact, like across the board, every single club pretty much is doing some sort of outreach for their community to help during this crisis. So if you guys want to go, if you go to MLSsoccer.com, you can literally click on this link. And it will show, there's an MLS Unites link, and it says what every team is doing. And you can go through and see all the good things that each team is doing within their community to help during this pandemic. So it's a great initiative as part of the MLS Unites initiative that MLS Works kicked off a couple weeks ago. And it's just a cool way to feel like, you know, we're all in this together, which I know we keep saying, but we truly, truly are. And to see, you know, guys like Robert Kraft doing as much as they are and Arthur Blank, and then bring it down to the player level where Andrew Farrell is doing what he can. You know, everybody's doing their part, and it's heartwarming. And like we said, we need all the positive news and positive vibes that we can get right now. So snaps to that.
We're keeping our eyes on you, players. We're going to bring you one of these every week. We're calling it the Call Up Cares because we care, and we know that our players care so much that we feel confident we're going to be able to bring you one of these stories every week. So, Andrew Farrell, thanks for being our first one.
Good on you, Andrew Farrell.
And now the moment we've all been waiting for, our AT&T call to the field with 2018 MLS Cup champion, 2007 goalkeeper of the year, and goalkeeper for Atlanta United, Brad Guzan. Yay!
Brad, we're not offended that it took us this long and to be in quarantine for you to actually come on the pod. But now that the moment's here, we're just super, super happy that you're joining us today. So thank you.
No, thank you guys. It's an honor and a privilege to be with you guys today.
Yeah, okay. I believe that. And before we get started,
nothing better I'd rather be doing.
Brad did spend a solid I'm looking at the clock here. He spent 29 minutes navigating firewalls, Skype, and everything just to make this happen. So also, probably very underrated for his IT abilities. I just want to throw that out there. But it's amazing during all of this when we can't go to work, but it seems like there's so much to do. How are you keeping yourself sane? What is going on in the Guzan household?
It's I would describe it as organized chaos to a certain extent. We've got 3 little ones that are running around, and at any moment throughout the day, there could be just nonsense yelling going on, just chasing, running around. So yeah, it's a bit chaotic, but as you said, it's unprecedented times, and you just try to make the best of it.
And I know you have through. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I just want to say, how do you keep sane during all of this? Because I know like a lot of our friends have kids, and you know you're doing the homeschooling thing, and it's just you're managing so much at once on top of having, as you mentioned, the 3 little ones running around. So like, what do you and your wife do to just kind of like stay calm, stay focused?
So that 5 o'clock, you know, that saying that it's 5 o'clock somewhere is getting moved up earlier and earlier.
We hear you.
Exactly. No, I don't know. We just seem to be able to pass the time and make the day go by, and then before we know it, we're getting ready for bed, and at that point, that's when we're able to slowly shut off a little bit and just have a little bit of quietness before it all starts again the next day.
And you have the 3 little ones. I think I saw that 2 of them had to celebrate their birthdays in isolation.
Yep, our son turned 5 and our daughter turned 3. So yeah, that was that was interesting.
What do you do? Promise them? Like, I promise you when this is over, you will have a big party.
To be
what are the
well,
promises?
Yeah, I mean, definitely our son wanted his at like one of those, jump castle type places, not castle, but like a trampoline park.
Yeah.
So he wants one of those. My wife, she's awesome when it comes to their birthdays. So she plans like weeks in advance. So we had all these decorations that were already ordered and sent to the house. So we were set on that side of things. I'd be lying if I didn't say that. So we rewrapped a few unopened Christmas presents. So you make it work.
Michael Parkhurst was on Instagram Live last week, and he was claiming that his calling in life was probably to be a teacher. He was killing the homeschool game. He was
It's a lie.
Right. I figured as much. How is the homeschool going in the Guzan household? Who is the teacher?
Yeah, so I tend to sit down and I mean, we share that responsibility, but I think, hats off to all the teachers out there that do this on a daily basis, because I think our homeschooling lasts for maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, and then it's carnage again, and it's running around the house. And so the fact that teachers do this all day, every day, enormous props to everybody that is involved on the teaching side of things.
Amen to that. Both my parents were teachers, so I feel you there. They're happily retired. They're like, we've never been so grateful to not have to deal with you and your brother right now. So hats off to all the teachers. Okay, soccer question. So our sister podcast, Extra Time, have been doing this thing where they're selecting
or
the
brother
Mount Rushmores.
podcast, but yeah.
Or brother podcast, yeah. Well, whatever. We're their sister.
We can call them sisters.
Same thing.
Yeah.
But they're selecting the Mount Rushmore of each team. And so for Atlanta, they selected Michael Parkhurst, you, Josef Martinez, and Miguel Almiron. So do you think that, do you like that Mount Rushmore that they've selected, or
no owners, or what was the other one? No owners or coaches.
Coaches, yeah.
So I was asked this question, and I'd thrown Tata in there just because of, from the beginning, what he's done, in terms of creating the team from scratch and ultimately a championship team. So I'd thrown him in there as well. I think you can also throw in someone like Darren, who essentially from nothing built this club. And then obviously the big one is Uncle Arthur. And without him, none of it would be possible, right? But yeah, I think those other three guys that you named, I had to bring down the level of hair that was on top of that Mount Rushmore. So throw me up there.
So it would on Brad's, it would be Darren, Arthur, Tata, and Brad.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, fair enough. I can't say I disagree.
Joseph who?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Maybe if you could fit a little more. Oh, you know what? Speaking of Joseph, let's ask you real quick about him. He had his ACL surgery 3 weeks ago, and I did the MLS Classics remix game with Greg Garza, the 2018 MLS Cup, and he was telling us that Joseph actually post-surgery got stuck in Pittsburgh for a few days due to the whole COVID-19 crisis. Yeah,
I've spoken to him. We've been texting back and forth. He's back in Atlanta, so that part's good. He was obviously frustrated and down leading up, when it first happened and the week or two afterwards, rightfully so, right? He was a bit bummed and it's only normal and only natural to have that sort of reaction. But, we all know that he's going to come back stronger from this. He's probably looking at this break in terms of games and whatnot, to a little bit of a benefit for him. And so, yeah, it's going to be a long road for the recovery process, but I think he knows that and he's ready to meet that challenge head on.
I mean, Jill and I have talked about it on this pod before about Joseph, and there's no doubt the way that guy is going to attack his rehab. I mean, he nobody wants to get back out on the pitch quicker than him. But obviously, you guys are on this training moratorium right now. So and it's been funny watching what guys have posted on Instagram in terms of like their at-home workouts and kind of how they're staying fit. Do you have any funny workout or a routine that you're sort of adhering to during this quarantine time?
No, nothing crazy or off the walls. Again, you just try to make the most of it. I don't have anything where I'm throwing the kids across the room or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm
Yeah,
doing that. It's just not part of the workout. Yeah. But no, you try to, our fitness guys, were really good about dropping off, bikes and fitness equipment if needed. And so you try to do as much as possible to keep yourself ticking over. And we know that when we do get back into training, that there will be some sort of training, a mini preseason, if you will, of some sort. And so at that point, you have to maximize and make sure you try to get as close to 100% fitness as possible.
It will be nice when that all comes back.
Yeah,
All right. We
For
love
sure.
to walk down memory lane on this show, and we've got quite a bunch for you, Brad.
Oof,
That
it's a long road.
happens when you are a veteran in MLS. You have a longer road than some. Let's go back in time. You're drafted by Chivas in 2005, first
With a
overall
lot of hair.
ever.
The hair pics are wild. I don't recognize
sure.
you with hair.
For sure.
The highest pick ever for a goalkeeper. You played there from 05 to 08. It was a very different time than now 25-year-old Major League Soccer. What can you tell us kind of about like a memory that kind of stands out to you, whether it be about the draft or the early days of Chivas when you were there?
Yeah, I didn't, a quick draft story. I didn't know where I was going to be drafted. I had signed a Generation Adidas contract, the first year of Generation Adidas at the time. And so I was just happy to be a professional. Wasn't overly concerned with where I went. And at that moment, some of the other guys were like, "Hey, I heard you're going to go to Chivas." And I'm like, "Wait, where? What?" And I didn't even really know like where they were and who they were. And they're like, "Yeah, I think you're going to go to Chivas. That's what I'm hearing." And I was like, "Oh, right. Okay." And then I hear my name called. And then literally 2 days later, I'm on a plane out to LA. And so I think other guys knew that I was going to be going there before I did. Right. And I get out there and had no idea what to expect. We were in LA for maybe 2 days before we left to go to Guadalajara for like training camp. And there was about a handful of guys that spoke English. And I'm thinking to myself, what did I sign up for here? What did I get myself into? And to be fair, the guys were really good. Off the field, we had a good group. It was the whole on the field thing that seemed to be a problem.
You're like, where are we?
Yeah, it was certainly interesting times. We went into every game, obviously, because of the USA-Mexico rivalry on the national team level. Every game turned into just a battle, a war. And, every game seemed to be red cards flying, yellow cards flying, crazy tackles. We didn't do ourselves any favors from an ownership standpoint at the time because, they were looking down at Major League Soccer, I think. And so teams, they were rubbing their hands together when they saw that they were playing us on the weekend.
A different time for sure. A totally different game. Kind of miss it. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so
That makes one of you.
It was entertaining as heck. Well, fast forward to 2017. You spend a decade overseas playing in England, mainly for Aston Villa. You signed so all of a sudden you're coming to Atlanta United, which is an expansion side for Major League Soccer. Obviously it's worked out, like we look at the last few seasons, it was the right move, but did you have any trepidation in coming back to MLS at that point, especially playing for an expansion side that was completely unproven?
No, and I can honestly say that only from the standpoint, I think I saw the lowest of the low when I was with Chivas that first year. And so the fact that I was coming back to an expansion team, that part didn't scare me. I actually felt really confident knowing Carlos and playing with Carlos. And obviously I had conversations with Carlos, but also having conversations with Darren as well. and seeing, their vision and what they wanted to build. That part made it a little bit easier in accepting the idea that it is an expansion team, another expansion team. And so there wasn't, I wasn't nervous. I wasn't scared. It was, I'm excited for this challenge and ready to be a part of it.
Do you have kind of a moment that stands out to you that kind of summarizes the beginning of your time in Atlanta, whether it's like the first time you met Tata or just something like that really like struck you?
I wouldn't say like one moment, it wasn't like, I'd met Tata, I think a little bit when you went to the training ground for the first time and knowing where MLS was. I mean, again, right, being a part of Chivas USA and seeing, other MLS clubs training at, universities, training at different facilities that weren't quote unquote, a full on MLS training ground. And to see that training ground, it was like, yeah, they're backing up what they were saying, 6 months ago, and they're going to do this right. And so that was just kind of confirmation that, yeah, we made the right decision to come back and be a part of Atlanta from the start.
Yeah, and Atlanta is your home now. But before Atlanta, before England, before your time at Chivas, you're a Chicago guy, like myself. South suburbs of Chicago, Homer Glen. And I'm such a homer for Chicago. I love it. I miss it. I grew up in Downers Grove. And I was so excited because I was going to be able to go to the Chicago Fire's opener at Soldier Field, where you would have been in goal for Atlanta, the opponent. And I just want to know, like, how much were you looking forward to that? Had you invited family? Were they all going to come? Like, what was your mindset ahead of that matchup that obviously didn't happen?
Yeah, no. So, I've been lucky to play in Chicago, to play in Chicago in front of friends and family on a few different occasions. And every time the opportunity comes up, you never take it for granted because you never know when it's going to be the last one. Right. And so we certainly had that circled on the calendar. My wife and kids, we'd already booked plane tickets. They were going to fly up. And I think we were working with kind of the ticketing department from the Fire. And I think we had over 150 tickets, of friends and family coming to the game. And so, yeah, so we were, everyone was buzzing, whether they were going to be rooting for Atlanta, rooting for me and secretly cheering for the Fire. Either way, it was going to be a good time. I'm kind of bummed when we played there just because they do a fantastic tailgate before and after the game, and they get after it the right way. And so to then have the game canceled, obviously, or postponed, I should say, to a later date, we're just gonna have to put all the festivities on hold for a bit.
When you do get to go back to Chicago when you play, do you ever take a few days after to kind of see family? Do you get to get to visit the favorite spots, get a Italian beef or deep dish pizza in?
For sure. Yeah, it all depends on our schedule. Obviously, if we're playing midweek afterwards, that's a bit of a buzzkill just because we've got to get back in and there's no time to hang out and see friends and family. But this time we were going to stay for a day or two. The international break obviously was right after that, so there was a potential for that. But it's nice being able to show the guys what deep dish pizza is all about. And a couple years ago, we had the unified team go up there as one of their away games.
Yes, that's right.
And I'd worked with one of our coordinators from the club, and I had sent him a bunch of deep dish pizzas and told him, listen, if you guys are coming to Chicago, you got to do Chicago right and try it out. So yeah, it was a good time.
Where does one get deep dish pizza?
Are you Lou Malnati's?
I'm not a Lou's guy. I'm gonna Giordano's.
Giordano's, yes.
Giordano's,
also,
yeah.
I like Lou's. Giordano's is next for me, then Gino's East. That's kind of my tier, if I had to rank them. But
fair enough.
It's all good.
Definitely.
Can't
go wrong.
I want pizza right now.
We'll introduce you, Jill, at some point. I promise.
You're sweet.
Definitely.
Thank you.
So this week we're celebrating the 25th anniversary of Major League Soccer. We're harking back to 1996. You can't see us. I've got a Tupac T-shirt on right now.
Throwing it way back.
Way back. So just for fun, want to know, what were you up to in 1996? Like what did you look like? What were you into? What was going on?
I had a lot of hair. I think I was probably choosing to keep it short, actually. But hair wasn't a problem at that point.
Yeah.
So that was obviously a plus. And then, in 96, probably going to some Chicago Fire games, and just playing sports and just, hanging out and doing things at, 96. So that would have made me 12.
Listening to some Pearl Jam.
Maybe not at 12, but like around the corner, just probably just getting into trouble around the neighborhood that I doing things I shouldn't have been doing.
Okay, I have to ask, because you brought up the hair, but when did you decide to shave the head? Because now it's like such an iconic look for you. Like I said, when I see pictures of you with hair,
right, I would be upset without it.
Who is it? So
for sure.
When did you know that was going to be the look for you?
It was well. I think I knew it was the look just because I had no other choice. But I mean, you have conversations with guys. I'd spoken to Timmy a bunch about it, where he'd give me grief and say, "Listen, what are you holding on for? What are you doing? Just get rid of it." And there were times when I was like trying to cut the sides shorter than the top and wouldn't cut the top, and it was just thinning and disastrous. And so it was probably like mid to late 20s, or mid 20s, I guess I would say. And I just said, you know what, the buzz was just getting shorter. And I said, you know what, it's time to go. And here we are. So
it's so, honestly though, there's a ton of bald goalkeepers. Like it's a look, and I'm here for it. If I'm going to tell our own little segments. Like, I am so here.
Sue's promised she's going to shave her head if quarantine goes past May 10th.
You never know. I might go full Britney. When she
just
shaved her
go
head.
For it. Yeah, embrace it.
Why not? It's a lot of upkeep, God.
For sure.
Not worth it.
One of these and your hair's dry, you're good.
See, exactly. It would take like at least a half hour off of my getting ready process.
Of your already very busy day at the moment.
Yes.
Not enough time in the day.
All right, we're going to play a game with you, but before we do, I just have one question, because we've talked so much about feeling old or whatever, and we haven't talked about it. You've talked about it. Now it feels like at an Atlanta United training, it's like I look around and it's Barco, Brooks Lennon, no more Parkey. So it's like you and Jeff are really the village elders at this point.
It's babysitting. Babysitting at home, babysitting at work. It's,
What is it that goes on kind of like maybe before training or in the locker room or when you guys are like all on the bus? What goes on where you and Jeff like really just look over at each other and you're like, damn, we're old? Like, what are the kids doing these days?
I think it's so Jeff and I sit on opposite ends of the locker room. So obviously we can
exchange looks.
Yes, make eye contact. And the younger group, they kind of like they gather kind of right in the middle. And as they're gathering, there's always like these little laughs and these and they're looking at their phones and they're doing this and they're doing that. And Jeff and I are like, what are these guys doing? So then we'll throw out a little feeler like, hey, what are you guys looking at? What are you guys doing? And there's probably stories that aren't suitable for this podcast, and maybe another day, but it'll be part 2, right? And so they're like, oh, we're doing this, we're doing that, and Jeff and I just give a shake of the head, just like where's it all gone wrong here? How has it come to this? And so the younger crowd, it's a different generation. They're good guys, they mean well, but it's sometimes it takes a little bit of a nudging from one of us to say, hey, let's get back to work here and make sure we're focused.
Jeff's like, I just want to read the newspaper, which he actually
Exactly.
Jeff
he wants no part of social media or anything.
Shall we play a little game before we let Brad go?
Let's do it.
We haven't even
I'm
like
nervous.
touched on getting him in trouble, not even like a little bit. And I feel like
See, that's the experience. That's the experience from my part, just maneuvering my way through.
I know it's a lot of that's called U.S. men's national team training, like media 101. I know your tricks.
True.
We've seen it before. Suze, I'll let you get going.
Okay, so we're gonna play just a little superlatives game. So
like
we'll
senior
give you,
year.
like, yeah, kind of like the senior yearbook thing, like, you know, biggest class clown, that kind of thing, but about your current or former Atlanta teammates. So we're gonna start with who is the biggest bookworm on the team.
Oh, definitely Jeff.
I was gonna, that one. That's
that's easy. Yeah, for sure.
Who would be the best person to plan the MLS Cup after party? Current or former teammates. Brad's like me.
Yeah, well, I've stepped away from those responsibilities.
Okay,
but I'm gonna say Josef.
Okay,
I believe that. I actually believe it. Wait, do you remember?
We've thrown some like
MLS
he's organized a few after parties for us.
Okay, good to know.
And so they're legit. Yeah.
Do you remember when we ran into Brad after MLS Cup in 2018 and we had our ponchos on? And we were trying to and we were trying to like get out of the stadium, and Brad was like, "I got a party to go to," and we were like,
"You need to go to that party. You just won."
Drenched.
We were on our way. Oh, that was a great night.
I'm sure it was. I have no doubt. Okay, who's the biggest clown? Like the biggest jokester?
I would go with Mikey Ambrose was up there. And so obviously former Atlanta United player, Mikey Ambrose always had a story, always had a joke, always laughing, smiling about something. But there's a few other sneaky ones in there that would maybe catch you by surprise a little bit. And I'll throw them out there, Jeff. On the back end of the newspaper reading, the book reading, a silent prankster. Yeah,
I love
Silent
that.
Assassin. Love it.
Who would you trust your kids with?
That's
emergency middle of the night. I have to call someone in my group chat.
I'll say Parky. I'll say Parky because he's got kids. He's been there, you know. So that's an easy one, I guess.
Not like Ambrose.
Yeah, no chance. The kids wouldn't come back. And if they came back, they'd have aged about 15 years. So.
Okay, so who's the last person you trust your kids with?
Yeah, he'd be up there, but then we'll throw a couple current ones out there. I'd say probably like Barco, you know, like just someone that's going to be drinking his mata and just relaxing and not really watching the kids, and he's more of a kid himself. So I'll say Barco.
Who's the biggest heartthrob on the team?
Oh,
who's just kind of got away with the people?
Or
who thinks they're the biggest heartthrob? Maybe is a better.
I wouldn't say thinks, but like genuine good guy. I would say a fellow goalkeeper, Alacan.
We don't get enough about him.
Yeah, exactly. See,
I know. That's a good one. I like that one. Okay, who's the best singer on the team?
Joseph thinks he's the best singer, or he thinks he's the best singer. I will also say Pity. Pity thinks he's a really good singer, and he's not at all. I don't know what he's singing, but he's trying it, and it's not working for him.
All right, final question. Is there a good bromance on the team? Everyone talks about Miguel and Joseph, but that's in the past. Is there a bromance we don't know about? Is there Brad and someone?
No, I mean, listen, you can't just have like one favorite. You know, you gotta make the rounds around the locker room, and I would say there isn't one specific one. You know, there's not going to be any of this going on anytime soon. But it's a good group. We've got a good group. We got a good locker room, and the kids, as we'll say, you know, they mean well, and they've got good heads on their shoulders. So yeah, we're lucky in that aspect.
Oh,
Love it.
I love this. Well, Brad, it was worth the wait to finally get you on the call up. We are so appreciative of your time, and we're so glad that you're doing well with the fam and staying safe and healthy. And we just want to see you back out on the soccer field sooner rather than later.
For sure. No, definitely. I think we all feel the same about that. And obviously, you guys stay safe as well. Jillian, how are you feeling?
Oh, I'm good. I'm out of quarantine. I'm back to normal.
Hallelujah.
Brad Guzan can always bring a good joke, but also from a media perspective, you know he's going to keep it professional, but you also know he's gonna open up and he's gonna talk to you a little bit. And he really is one of these guys that's like a perfect ambassador kind of for the league and for the team. So Brad, I appreciate you. That is the truth.
He's awesome. He can be intimidating, but then when you get to know him, he's just
oh no,
he's such a good guy. You know, those Chicago guys, I'll tell you what, good old Midwest.
Those people from Chicago,
best.
Man, I'll tell you,
they
are
best.
Just the nicest. As you heard me mention to Brad, MLS is doing MLS Classics Remix. We did the Atlanta United, Portland Timbers 2018 Cup, but there's so much more that's going on. April 8th, the first Hell is Real Derby. Sue's Derby for you. From August 2019. It's going to be Matt Doyle, Charlie Davies, the guy that I just love so very much, Jonathan Mensah.
He's so great.
And Andrew Gutman. They are going to be reliving the very first Hell is Real Derby. So that is going to be super exciting. And I'll tell you, as someone that was sitting in on these, I felt like I learned a lot just hosting it, kind of hearing what a guy said, like, oh, actually, so-and-so, he was nursing a hamstring there for 2 months and he just hit it and no one knew. Or vice, to get that inside info, it really was bringing a game to the next level. So yeah, maybe a game you've already watched, but I guarantee you're going to learn something.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched a couple of these now, and it's so cool because you get a perspective from these guys who are literally on the field playing, and so there are so many wonderful nuggets that they share, and the environment is such that these games were in the past, so they can talk about it quite openly, and it's just fascinating to get a sense of what was going on in their heads during these matches. So it's a really, really cool thing that we're doing. I'm going to be part of one this coming Friday on April 10th. We are harking back to 2015. It's the first ever New York City Derby, baby, back from May of 2015 at Red Bull Arena. It's going to be fantastic. So me, Dax McCarty, who is obviously a member of the Red Bulls at that point, Alexis Guerreros from the Cooligans is going to be on this one, and Chris Wingert, who is a member of NYCFC for this match. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. So yeah, guys, check those out. Those are at 4 p.m. So the next one, April 8th.
And one more thing. Sorry,
yes.
Sue, I cut you off. I'm
Go
a
ahead.
bad friend.
Oh, no, I was just going to, they're at 4 p.m. These,
That's right. 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. on the Pacific Coast. Something I've been enjoying that Extra Time Radio's been doing, and we mentioned them to Brad at the top of his interview,
we sure
is these Mount Rushmores, because they really get you thinking, right? We need a little bit of brain exercise. Brad did his Mount Rushmore, and I meant to tell him mine, but I didn't want to offend him, so I'm saving it now that he's off. But my Atlanta United Mount Rushmore, I know we're not allowed to have owners or whatever they said, but I'm throwing that out the window. And mine would have been Michael Parkhurst, the inaugural captain, right?
Sure.
Josef Martinez, Tito Villalba, who came when there was nothing.
Yeah.
And the first designated player ever signed, and he just had to trust that, like, he's going to leave his continent and he's going to come to MLS. And then, of course, Arthur Blank. So that's my Atlanta United Mount Rushmore. Sorry, I wanted to share that, but Brad, I didn't want to offend you. I know Brad, he's got a tough skin, but still.
Well, it's interesting because there are some teams that have obviously been there from the get-go. So, a team like San Jose and DC, who you have got tons and tons and tons of players to choose from over the course of their history. But then there are teams like Atlanta United who are relatively new, and so it's a fun and interesting conversation that they're having on Extra Time. So make sure you guys check them out. We love them. Our podcast,
and they're doing them every. I love that. I love that so much. They're doing them every Monday and Thursday. Monday, they broke down Columbus and San Jose. And then Thursday, they're going to go Red Bulls and NYCFC, Sue. So you got to save that and then
yes,
kind of battle them on Friday.
I'll use that as some good fire for that broadcast. It'll be great. And again, guys, check out that MLS in 96 Instagram account because it's awesome.
And let's just give it one last. It's this week. MLS turned 25 officially. Let's give them one last little happy birthday message. We love you, MLS.
I know, sorry, we love you. No, gosh, listen, I'm just cheersing. That's it. I love you guys. MLS, listen, when this whole thing is over, we're going to throw you the biggest 25th birthday anniversary bash you ever did see. So for now.
Oh, yeah. The call-up hosts MLS's official birthday party.
I like that. Let's just put it out there in the ether now, and then they can't say no. Like, we claimed it.